The audio lectures, videos, and articles about health will captivate you. You'll see. CriticalHealthNews.com features content from world-class alternative health experts who make a lot of sense, and they'll earn your respect and admiration after you take their advice and try the recommended unique products designed to work in concert with your body to provide all the nutrition it needs. Log on to criticalhealthnews.com and take advantage of all the free health information available there. Remember, education is your best defense against sickness and misery. Get inspired by visiting criticalhealthnews.com, where you can purchase modular nutrition packs and see for yourself how good you can feel.
Call 1-855-949-RADIO or 1-855-949-7234.
Yeah.
And welcome back to Coast. George Dory with you. Keith Johnson with us, paranormal investigator, one of the founders of the New England Anomalies Research Group. He is regularly called upon to assist individuals in dealing with paranormal phenomena or potential inhuman infestation in their homes, which he experienced in his own home as a teenager. Keith has been featured as a consulting demonologist on the Sci-Fi Channel's Ghost Hunters, as well as A&E series Paranormal State. You do a great job, Keith, by the way, and welcome back. It's been too long.
It has been. It's great to talk to you again, George. How are you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself? Life good?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fine.
Still out in New England doing your thing?
Oh, yeah. Dealing with the weather here and there, which has been pleasant, fortunately.
That's good. It's been dry. I'm out here in California. We need some rain.
Oh, yeah, I know. I wish I could let you borrow some from here.
Conjure it up. But tell me about this experience as a teenager. What happened?
As a teenager, of course, we did have paranormal activity in our house growing up. Here and there, things would happen. Now, it wasn't the Amityville horror to drive us out of the house, but every once in a while, things would be missing, and then they'd reappear. And in front of our eyes one time, my mother was drinking a glass of water, and suddenly it vaporized and just vanished. The water inside the glass just vanished with a bubbling sound and everything, and little things knocking here like that, poundings on the roof, and it got worse and worse as time went on, actually.
Keith, did your parents believe in the paranormal?
They did. They were Christians. Of course, I was brought up in a Christian household. They did. I think they would rather have ignored it, but every once in a while you just could not ignore it. They wished it would just not exist and just go away on its own. But spirit communication with a couple of my siblings seemed to make it worse. That seemed to exacerbate the situation. So we realized that there was something going on here, and it was just not going to stop on its own.
And I was going to say, was it ongoing beyond just the bubbly water?
Oh, yes, it did get worse, especially when the spirit communication happened. That seemed to set it off, seemed to give it permission. There were poundings on the walls. There was like a giant, it sounded like a giant stomping on the roof at one time. There were apparitions, too. My brother was confronted by an apparition down in the cellar, and he saw it at least a few times, and it was appearing to him, and that was rather disturbing, rather frightening. It was the apparition of a woman dressed around the turn of the 20th century. No idea who she was or who she represented. What's interesting is that our house was new at the time. When we were young, the house was built for us, for our family, so nobody had lived there at the time. It was a pony corral before then, so the only thing I could speculate, the house next door where my grandfather lived was very, very old. It may have been something on the property before the house was even built.
It seems like property has a way of keeping these spirits around.
Oh, yes. Yes, it does. I totally agree.
They stay with the land.
Yes, indeed.
When you got into the field of demonology, what led you into that? Were these experiences you had as a kid?
Yes, it was my my Christian upbringing. I was led, I did believe in spirits. There was no doubt. I mean, by the time I was a teenager, I had no doubt. I was totally convinced that spirit phenomena was a reality and it did exist. I wanted to try to make a difference, maybe help people who are experiencing similar things with spirit phenomena and they were disturbed by it. So I began to study intensely, reading the Bible and reading anything I could get my hands on about the work of Tom Folger and such. And really preparing to help people. I had no idea how I was going to at the time, but I figured I'd start prepping myself and let God lead me where He wanted to.
And he sure did, didn't he?
Oh yes, yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
I mean, you're into it now in a big way, aren't you, Keith?
Oh, a big way, yeah, big way. There's no doubt. I mean, people may disagree as to what the origin is, but I have no doubt whatsoever that the phenomena does exist, and it is a reality. That's been proven to me over and over numerous times.
When did you work with the paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren?
Began working with the Ed and Lorraine Warren, in 1973, way back then. And we had met them at a lecture at Rhode Island College. We saw them speak and really became lifelong friends with them after that. We met them after the lecture. And one thing led to another. Plus, we lived in Rhode Island, they lived in Connecticut. They were not all that far away. So we stayed in touch with them, and we would communicate with them once in a while when we were facing things. And then came a big case. I was in an organization at Rhode Island College, a paranormal organization. We studied parapsychology and such. It was a parapsychology club. And we did get a big case, and that's when we contacted Ed and Lorraine about that, just to seek their advice. And they did wind up getting involved personally with us.
They were one of the best, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were the best. There was really nobody that was their equal at the time. I mean, of course there was Tom Folger, but locally, these were the people to go with. They were the go-to people. And remember, this was a time there was no internet, so it was hard to get the word around, get the word out there. So knowing Ed and Lorraine Warren was a step in the right direction for us, personally.
And there really weren't many technical tools available to you investigators.
No, there were not. There were not back then. I had a handheld tape recorder and a Polaroid camera. That was how I began my investigations with that equipment. The Warrens themselves did not have high-tech equipment at all. Ed had his big reel-to-reel he had for years, and he would take that on every case he went to and interview people. And they had cameras, and that was about it. There was no EMS detectors, nothing like that. Only electricians used those things, so nothing like that at all. You did get spirit phenomena.
Did you ever get an EVP? Voice phenomena?
Yes, electronic voice phenomena. We did indeed. Strangely, maybe not so strangely, that was in our own home. We started getting voices while reporting things. My brother was downstairs in the cellar, and he was trying to communicate with whatever spirit was there, and he was discussing spirit phenomena. When he played the recording back, a voice came out saying, "Help me," a low voice saying, "Help me, help." And it was actually slow, so we sped it up, and it did say, it was a woman's voice saying, "Help me, help." And that convinced us even more. Another time we were in the kitchen, just having conversation, and a voice said, "Ethel," a female voice. And it was my Aunt Ethel's voice. We could recognize it. She had passed away many, many years before, but it did sound exactly like my Aunt Ethel's voice, just saying Ethel during our conversation.
Do you think it was her?
I don't think it was her. My personal belief, it was not her. It was a spirit pretending to be her, because I met this over and over again in the course of my investigation, spirits that are pretending to be human spirits. I think it was deceptive, but boy, it was uncanny how much it did sound like her.
What do these deceptive spirits want, Keith? Why do they do that?
They want permission. They actually want permission to get in and infiltrate people's lives. My belief is this is why they do this. They'll sound like children. They'll sound like family members. They'll be nice and sweet. They'll be sorrowful. They'll do anything to gain sympathy. But it's been my experience that once they get a foothold, once you start communicating with them, they're very hard to get rid of. and then they start showing a different sort of nature. They become hostile and not so nice as they originally set out to be. And then they'll sometimes just stop communicating, and then havoc will start happening within the house. And I have seen this in my own house, and I've seen it over and over again. So that's where I'm coming from, that they are mostly deceptive spirits, and they're out to get a foothold.
What is a demon, as far as you're concerned?
And a demon is a preternatural spirit entity. It's got high intelligence, but it existed long, long ago, centuries before, in the dawn of humanity. They're many, many eons old, and they are an intelligence that is somewhat similar to us, except a lot of times they have greater intelligence, so they can act very childish. And they're spirits that were part of the rebellion against God many, many years ago in antiquity. I believe in the Great Flood. I believe there was a great deluge, and that's a lot of times where these spirits come from. They were involved with humanity back then, and after the Great Deluge, a lot of them were just disembodied spirits. I believe they're with us to this day.
What do they want, Keith? What are they after?
They're after deception. They're getting us to go against God. Anything that can be against God, that can deceive us, so we don't believe that there is an afterlife. Or if we do believe there's an afterlife, it's just supposed to be us wandering, trapped in the cosmos, or trapped in the atmosphere. They want us to get away from God, to get away from prayer, and unfortunately, sometimes to actually infiltrate us because they are disembodied spirits, and to possess us, to get inside a human body, and then they can live as a human in a human body and partake of the sensual pleasures. They can eat, drink, have physical relations, what have you. That's what I do believe they're after, 100%.
What was your very first demonic possession case you studied?
First possession case, demonic possession case, that was back in the 1980s, and that took place in Providence, Rhode Island. Now, I believed in possession. This is the first time I saw it 100% one-on-one. It was a 14-year-old boy. He was of Puerto Rican origin. His family was Puerto Rican. And we went to his house. We were friends with the family. He started acting very, very bizarre.
In front of you?
Very, very.
In front of you?
Yes, in front of us. Sometimes we'd be there late at night. He'd be in bed sleeping. All of a sudden he'd wake up screaming, and he'd come in the bedroom. From the bedroom sometimes he'd be jumping all over the place, spiraling like a top. I don't know how he did this, but my brother witnessed him spiraling like a top on the floor, jump on the sofa, screaming and laughing and bellowing. Then he passed out. When he woke up, he apparently had no memory of what he was doing. He didn't even know why he was there in the room at all.
Who called you to the home to investigate?
The family did. We were friends with the family. They said that he's having very bizarre behavior. He's acting out.
Who?
Yeah.
Is your battery gone?
I don't.
Or did you hit redial on something?
I am charged in.
Yeah, you might have hit Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Sounds like you hit redial on your phone.
Well, I tried not to, but it sounds all right now.
Okay, so far so good.
I'll tell you, this is not the first time it's happened when I'm talking about this subject, but these things do happen.
Maybe it's a demon who doesn't want you talking about him, huh?
It has happened. I believe that could be. It has.
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, if we get any more beeps, we're going to have to switch to your other line, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's already hooked up and ready to go. But so the family was concerned about the little boy, and so how did they find you?
We had known the family for a while. We'd met them in Providence and became friends with them. They knew my brother and I, were into spiritual activities, that we did study this, and so that's why they called us in. My brother stayed overnight to see if there'd be phenomena, and yes, there was. He woke.
often did you see the little boy? So Keith, let's switch to your other phone, okay? Let's do that right now. You there? Hello, Keith. Are you on the other line? Here he comes. He's out there running around. Keith, you on the other line? Hello, Keith. Sorry, folks. I really apologize for this. That's not going to work either. Gina, why don't you call him on his cell and tell him to get through his Skype line, okay? So call him on his other line. Anyways, we're talking with Keith Johnson. He is a paranormal investigator, and if for some reason the demons have gotten to him, we will go to open lines after the program, and we'll keep checking in on him to see if he's there or not, and we'll see what happens. But we've got a ways to go, and we've still got more phone calls to take. And as a matter of fact, if you want to make some calls now, let Gina start lining you up, just in case for some open lines, Gina. Let's get that going, and let's do that. So, folks, you make the calls, if you would, and we will go from there. What's going on? But it seems like every time we're into something controversial, something happens. And he's right, like he said. He said this has happened to him before, that he starts talking about something demonic, and they take him away, and off he goes. But do you think he's there? Which line?
Hello, I am here.
There you go. Okay. Boy, that was a trip.
Yes, it was. I've been on that trip before, believe me. One time we had to be called in. We were doing an interview. My wife Sandra and I were doing an interview. They called us back. We had to come in and bless the studio. They were having so many problems, and they had no problems after that at all.
Years ago, I was in St. Louis doing my local show, Keith, and I had a Ouija board in the studio. Everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. We had cart machines for commercials in those days. They all got blown out. Everything went wrong. I finally told my producer, I said, get this thing out of here and give it away. And he took the Ouija board, took it out of the studio. Things went back to normal again. Things started working. And I brought him back in, and during the commercial break, I asked him, I said, Howard, what did you do with it? He said, I gave it to Daryl. Daryl was one of our news guys, and he wanted it, so he took it. Well, the next day, Daryl got laid off. He lost his job. We ran into him about 2 weeks later, and he said ever since he had the Ouija board, he lost his relationship, he lost his job, his health was deteriorating, everything went wrong. I said, Daryl, get rid of the Ouija board. He said, I already did. Those things are dangerous, aren't they?
They can be, and people don't believe that. I mean, it is a piece of compressed cardboard, but if it has a spirit attachment, that can happen. And a lot of people don't believe that until they experience it for themselves. It can be very, very dangerous indeed. I'm sorry that your friend went through that, and it does happen. I've seen it happen a number of times. That's why I believe they are dangerous.
Now, the New England Anomalies Research Group, it's still up and running, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Still very active.
What do they do exactly?
Go out to people's homes when we're called in. We do investigate here and there, but when there's a client that's very much in need, we usually send our team out and they investigate the home. They look for anything that might be paranormal. They try to rule out any natural explanation. When you start getting spirit voices on recordings and they're obvious spirit voices, that's one of the items we use for evidence. If somebody's getting spirit voices, if they're getting touched, if objects are being moved, and it's not. That's why we have the camera on. We try to leave the video camera on so that we can monitor all the activity of what's going on in the house. If there's a great deal of anomalies that can't be ruled out, then we usually ask them, do you want a house blessing? Do you want us to pray with you through this house? And usually they do. Normally they do, because they're very, very disturbed at this point about the activity that's going on. So we go from top to bottom to the house. We go throughout the property. We pray continually, and we ask that God remove the spirits that are here, because we don't believe that we have the power to do that. We ask God, please watch out for this family. protect these people and remove whatever spirit activity there is. Usually it does work. Usually it does have a positive reaction.
Keith, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back and stay on the line that you're on. We will be back in a moment right here on Coast to Coast AM.
Get daily show updates right to your inbox for free with the Coast Zone newsletter. Sign up today at coasttocoastam.com.
From the Kfi 24-hour newsroom. Air travel is expected to surge for the Independence Day holiday, and LAX is already busy.
Everything is more congested.
Doug Shoup with AAA says the numbers are approaching a record.
It's going to be the third busiest 4th of July travel volume on record behind 2019 and 2018.
Delta Airlines pilot team time are picketing LAX. They're not on strike, but pilots are spending their off hours picketing for more pay and better schedules. USC and UCLA are officially leaving the Pac-12 for the Big Ten in 2024. The Big Ten will have 16-member schools. The move is largely financially motivated. Pac-12 gave each of its schools less than $20 million last year, compared to more than $46 million by the Big Ten. Southland weather from KFI, sunny, warm, and humid for your Friday after the morning fog clears out. 80s to low 90s inland, right about 70 at the beaches, cooler into the holiday weekend. Right now 65 in Garden Grove, Costa Mesa 67, Bellflower 66, and Sherman Oaks is 72 degrees. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Phil Huber.
In Glendale, there is a work zone from the 134 westbound from the 2 to the 5, the carpool, and 2 left lanes are going to be shut down for road work. Expect delays in that area. Long Beach, this is on the 710 southbound at the Lamo. Little fender bender there. That's out of lanes and on the right shoulder, but watch for some working delays as you approach. Baja, there is a work zone. 57 northbound from Sauter Canyon to the 60. 3 right lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Van.
I'm an American today because of my paternal grandfather. Hello, I'm John McCoyan, founder of Rooter Hero Plumbing and Air. My grandfather escaped the tyranny in Armenia, moved to California, and sent for us. This great country took us in and gave us sanctuary. I'm grateful every day for the brave men who carved out our Constitution. Things are tough right now, and we're being tested. Despite all this, there's no place I'd rather be. This month, let's show Lady Liberty, even though she's under duress. We stand beside her. I want to take a moment to thank you for trusting Rooter Hero Plumbing and Air with your most valuable asset, your home. Call us at 866-DRAIN-77 and we'll cable your drain or give you an AC unit safety check for only $77. That's 866-DRAIN-77. Thank you. Yeah, 102-8886/9956-88.
Each week on the Martha Stewart podcast, the woman who's done it all, from TV to magazines to radio and more, engages in intimate, in-depth interviews with some of the world's most fascinating people. Every time I go anywhere, all they want to know is how new.
You don't think I get approached all the time by people that say, do you think you can get in a picture of Martha? Do you get an autograph?
Listen to the Martha Stewart podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, it's Gene Sharp. Here's a question I get asked a lot these days. Do we need an emergency backup generator for my home or my business? You know, I can't really answer that for you, but here's what I can tell you. Losing power at home means losing the internet and the fridge and the air conditioner right when you need them the most. Losing power in your business could mean losing data and definitely a loss of revenue. Most importantly, generators cost way less than the alternative. So if you've ever thought about getting a generator or you already have one, there's only one answer to the generator question.
Duffy Power. Duffy Power is your emergency power solution. If you need a new generator, you call Duffy. Already have one? Then you need to keep that bad boy running reliably with Duffy's regular maintenance program. New or existing, home or business, the answer is always Duffy Power. To learn more, go to DuffyPower.com, DuffyPower.com, DUTHIE Power.com.
Attention investors, how would you like to collect a government-backed check with secured double-digit returns in as little as 21 days? The tax lien code is going to expose the best-kept secret in real estate investing in a free 20-minute Kickstart video. Text the word LEARN to 26022 now and let their free video show you how to earn government-backed returns up to 25% with as little as $50, or how to invest in tax-delinquent homes that are 50% off market value. Plus, see how you can access private tax lien inventory not available to the public. So if you want to become a real estate investor that buys tax liens from the comfort of your own home, then text LEARN to 26022 now to get your free Kickstart video. Text LEARN to 26022 right now and you'll get free tickets to attend a live training in the LA area that will also include your VIP tax lien bidder number free to all attendees. So text LEARN to 26022. Text LEARN to 26022. That's text LEARN to 26022 for your free Kickstart video now.
This is the real deal. Pink Floyd's Roger Waters' This Is Not a Drill North American Tour rolls across the U.S.
How would you like to join me on the tour?
Here's your chance to win front row tickets to see Roger Waters in concert at T-Mobile Arena. Wow. Plus, attend sound check, take home an autographed guitar, and more from AEG. Text the nationwide keyword Waters to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Waters to 200-200.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk.
986521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
We're going to take your calls a little earlier, just in case the demons get to Keith Johnson. We want to be on the safe side there. ParanormalDate.com keeps cruising along. 632 people shy of 132,000 signed up members at ParanormalDate.com. At ParanormalDate.com, you meet the most fantastic people.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. What brings you here?
Yeah, I'm here with someone who understands me.
How so?
Well, I'm into UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, the paranormal, that kind of stuff. But can't seem to find anyone who gets it.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, Tom. I gotta go.
Okay, guess that's not your cup of tea. You sure?
Very. Good luck with that.
I can't leave anyone when I'm out, and I really can't find a website for my unique interest. What do I want to do?
Have you thought about ParanormalDate.com?
What? Who are you?
I'm a paranormal matchmaker, and it's ParanormalDate.com. It's a website for people looking for people like them. Stuff you like, remember?
Interesting. I'll give it a try.
Well, let's try this again.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hey, I'm Deb. Your profile on ParanormalDate.com looks very interesting. So you really saw a UFO?
Well, yeah. It was so intense, but not as intense as meeting you.
You're an alien, Casey flirt, but I kind of like it.
Wow, this ParanormalDate.com thing really works.
Maybe ParanormalDate.com is for you. People with an interest in things they hear on George's show find their match daily. So if you're looking for that special someone with an interest in UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, and of course, the paranormal, come to the dating site inspired by George Norrie. It's always free to search, and if you decide to upgrade to our amazing new features, use promo code GEORGE.